I'm making this video today because one of you asked me to make a video about why Earth is like a school. What is it that we're here to learn? I aim to talk about this from a yogic perspective. So I want to touch on all of the most critical points in regards to why we're here and what it is that we're actually supposed to be learning. But before I begin, if at any point you find that this information is helpful, then please like, share, subscribe, or comment so that more people have access to this video. And if what I'm saying is resonating with you and you'd like to work with me, then please feel free to reach out to me at the email provided in the description box below. I remember thinking a long time ago that Earth is a learning ground. This is a concept that is rampant in spiritual circles, and it's nothing new. But the reason why we're here is kind of all over the map. My understanding, when I tap into this intuitive self, what comes to me are a few different things that I'd like to talk about. The first thing is realizing that you have a formless identity and that that is the real you. Because this body mind that we're inhabiting is very temporary. I like to think of the body mind as an instrument. It's an instrument for us to experience and evolve. So when we're here, one of the most critical things that we're here to learn is to remember, to realize that formless self, that eternal self, the self that is awareness. Because without that awareness, there's nothing that we would be able to experience. We wouldn't be aware of what's happening, right? So it's the awareness that allows us to experience life. And that awareness is what we are. That awareness is the life that is animating this instrument of the body mind. So the more that we can begin to awaken to that understanding, the more we're learning what we're here to learn on Earth, at our Earth school, so to speak. So that's number one. And that's something that I think we can just continue to wake up to. And it really is a feeling of waking up. It's this feeling of being in this experience of life every single day. And the more that you can remember this on a moment to moment basis, the better off you are. Because the more you're sitting in that seat of consciousness, the more you're sitting in that realization that you are awareness, that without that intelligence, without that awareness, there's nothing that you're going to really be able to experience. The more that you can deepen this understanding, the more you begin to realize that that awareness, that consciousness is everywhere and it's in everything. And that is the word God. That is the meaning of God to me and from a yogic perspective. That's what is meant in the Bhagavad Gita. That's what they mean when they say that God is everywhere, God is everything. That is the consciousness. God is the consciousness that is animating everything. It is the intelligence, the divinity that everything is being birthed out of. And that's what you are. That's what I am. That's what everything is. So the more that you realize this, the more you begin to awaken to this larger aspect of what you are. And then what naturally comes out of that is this understanding that you are not separate from anything, because that is the unifying force, if you will, that is bringing everything together. And because you're part of that, you cannot be separate from it. So this idea that we're even a part of something is really an illusion. We're not really parts. That's a very dualistic approach to life. And this is another thing that we need to learn while we're here in Earth School. So I would say that that's the foundation of all of our learning. Now, the second most critical thing that we're here to learn is that we need to be able to realize that the divinity that we are is here experiencing a unique aspect of itself. And what I mean by this is when you realize that the divinity that you are is a unique expression of God, of consciousness, you begin to embrace your humanity. You begin to embrace your experience here because what you're experiencing is so incredibly special because you're the only one that gets to experience your life. Nobody else gets to experience life from your perspective. And there's something that I remember reading in A Course in Miracles that I love, which is the definition of spirituality. And that is very simply to see through God's eyes. That's what it means to be spiritual. So the realization that you are divinity, that you are pure consciousness, and that you are seeing your life through God's eyes, through that divinity, is the unique specialness, if you will, of your life. And that's a very, very incredible thing. When you realize that, what happens is you want to shine your light, that consciousness, even more brightly. Because why not? Why not allow yourself to express what you are so fully while you're here having this human experience? Now, what this does that's so fantastic is that when you get in touch with this larger aspect of yourself and you begin to feel that divinity within you, then all of your fear begins to dissolve. Then you begin to take very different action. You begin to allow yourself to feel natural within this body mind. You allow yourself to feel uninhibited and loose and just express yourself in ways that you wouldn't have prior because you were identifying with yourself as only a body mind, as this very small little self, which is identifying with your ego. So when you begin to realize that this divinity is here to have this full, expressive life, then life becomes very exciting. And it doesn't mean that you have to do these grandiose things in life. Not at all. Because the learning, the earth school, isn't really about what you do. It's about how you do what you do. You could do something as mundane as washing dishes, but that's not any less important than any other task in the world. It really, really isn't. What's important is how you wash those dishes, is how you interact with people, is how you decide to shine the light that is you. Now, that said, your heart is an incredible compass. It's guiding you, it's telling you, it's giving you all of these synchronicities and symbols and ways in which it wants to teach you and tell you what it is that you're here to do. Now, the thing that is very important to note as I talk about your heart and allowing your heart to be your compass in life, what I mean by this is allowing love to be your compass, not desire. Because in yogic philosophy, they talk about desire as being the reason why you have karma. Because your desire is what brings you back to have more and more incarnations. So it keeps you stuck in the loop of having to incarnate over and over and over again. And a lot of people might think, well, that's a good thing, until you realize that there's a lot more to explore in the astral realm, in other realms, besides these earthly incarnations that we can have. So it's not to say that these earthly incarnations are not beautiful, because they're so beautiful. But the reason that we're here is so that we can graduate from these earthly incarnations and reach higher and higher states of consciousness. Now, consciousness is pure in and of itself. So what we're really learning is we're learning how to purify that consciousness by letting go. This is why letting go is, to me, the most important practice that you can have on your spiritual path, because there's nothing that you need to do to perfect yourself. You as self, as soul, is perfect, is completely pure consciousness, right? So there's nothing that you need to do to alter that self. What we're doing is we're remembering, we're realizing that self by getting so clean inside in this instrument that we've inhabited temporarily. And we do that by letting go. So you can think of this as your temple that you're trying to clean, constantly clean, 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 until you get so clean that you realize that there's nothing left to clean. And then you can see the pure divinity within you. And that's what's happening through the practice of meditation, through the practice of pranayama, breathing. We're allowing ourselves to get so clean inside that the self then becomes reflected because the mind becomes still. So that's really what's happening as we go down this path of letting go. It's a process of spiritual purification so that we can see more clearly, so that we can be what it is that we are, which is that pure consciousness. Now, another way that we can purify ourselves is through love. Now, I don't mean this in the understanding that most people have when it comes to love, which is a human love, which is conditional love. Love that is always seeking to get, love that has an agenda, love that needs something in return, reciprocal love. That is not the love that I'm talking about. I'm talking about unconditional love. I'm talking about the state of pure being. I'm talking about learning how to love without needing anything in return, loving the other person's divinity, seeing as God sees, loving that you realize that this person or thing is you and is no different than you, because the consciousness that is inhabiting your body mind is the same consciousness that is inhabiting their body mind. And that's what I mean by love. And that is the compass with which we need to allow ourselves to navigate through life. And the more we do that, the more we learn, the more we purify ourselves, the more we become so clear, so clean, that we become this reflective, sparkly diamond that shines that love back to everything that it encounters. So I realize that these are very simple concepts, right? The concept of realizing what you are, know thyself, the concept of using your instrument to love, right? All of these things are very, very, very simple. I'm not saying that they're easy, but when you use the process, the technique of letting go, that's what you're doing. You're allowing yourself to get so clean inside that you realize that you can become an instrument to shine the light within you so brightly that you inspire everyone and everything around you to do the same. So that's what's so beautiful about what happens when you begin to do this. This is why when you become the change in the world that you want to see, that is the greatest gift that you can give to anybody, is working on yourself, purifying yourself, cleaning yourself, allowing yourself to shine as brightly as possible. That is the greatest gift to humanity. Not what you do, not the success, not the money, not the accolades. What really matters is that you begin to realize the divinity that you are and then express that divinity in your unique way. Find out how that divinity wants to express itself. Do you feel drawn to sing? Do you feel drawn to dance, to paint, to write code? Do you feel drawn to take pictures of things, to express yourself using your voice? It doesn't matter what that expression is. Maybe you decide that what really speaks to you is taking care of people. What really speaks to you is making delicious food or making beautiful things. And when you begin to listen to that inner heart compass and you actually take action because you're not afraid of doing the things that speak to you, then that divinity within you gets to express itself so fully, so brightly. And that's when you realize that your life becomes free because you've dropped your ideas about you. You've dropped the idea about what you think you are. You've let go of the amalgam of junk that you think is you, the psyche, the things that you think that have happened to you in the past that you're holding on to so tightly that you think that those things are you, that you're identifying with the things that have happened to you in the past. Our past becomes who we are, and that's not who you are. Now, the simplest thing that you can do is let go of your judgments about your life, about yourself, about other people, about where you think that you're supposed to be, where you think you're supposed to be headed. None of that matters. Let all of that stuff go. None of it is you, and none of it makes a difference in your life in terms of why you're here and what it is that you need to learn. Just let it go. Allow yourself to just be with yourself, to fully accept yourself, to let go of everything that doesn't serve you. That's what we're always letting go of. Letting go of the things that no longer really provide anything of use for you. And by that I mean, is what you're holding on to allowing you to be more loving? Is what you're identifying with allowing you to be free, allowing you to be joyful, to feel that bliss within you? What are the things that you're holding on to that are blocking you from feeling that you can shine your light so brightly? What are those things? Let go of them. That's what we need to let go of. Let go of all of the personal junk from your past and embrace what you have right now, which is everything. You have everything because what you are is pure spirit. Realize that. Realize how incredible you are. You are the most incredible thing that there is because you are God. There, I said it. You are divine. And realize this so deeply, so profoundly, so that you feel it, so that you know it. That's the most important thing that you can learn. Because when you feel that, when you know that, then all you want to do is give that to everything else, to everyone else. You want to free everyone. You want everyone to see how perfect they are. So just keep letting go of all of the crap inside of you. Just keep taking the trash out. Just keep dumping it out, letting it go. No longer does it need to be within you. And the simplest way that you can do this, I've talked about this so much on this channel, is to just allow yourself to accept the beauty, the divinity within you by relaxing, by being, by letting go of your grievances, by letting go of your judgments. Just let it go. It's as simple as a dropping it, as opening your hands, as relaxing as deeply as you possibly can, and just feeling that peace within you, feeling that joy and that bliss that you are. That is what you are. And these are the things that you're going to take with you when you leave this physical body, when the physical body dies. What you're going to take with you is all of your learnings at Earth School. You're going to take with you all of the love, all of the wisdom that you glean during your human existence. I love you all so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to feel free, to feel that you can let go of all of the junk inside of you so that you can begin to shine the light of consciousness within you so brightly, so freely, so unabashedly that it becomes contagious to everyone around you. Until next time, remember to let go. Let go of trying to be anything other than the truth of what you are.